Good. All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. I'm just going to touch the microphone. I turned it down because of the bell in the Haruka Vajrasattva Sog. Excuse me, just a little tiny bit of noise. There we go. All right. And check your feet and your sitting position. Hands in the meditation mudra. Make sure your pelvic bowl is not tilted too far forward or too far back. So you can imagine that the whole pelvis area is filled with liquid and you wouldn't want to spill it. So you can actually put a little cushion underneath your coccyx, shoulders over the hips, and your ears over your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from your coccyx all the way up through the crown of your head, and that perhaps somebody is behind you, very gently lengthening your spine. Your head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, relax the jaw. And let's just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the nose and the cheeks, and the jaw and the mouth. And go to the back of the scalp, relax that area, the ears, the neck, the shoulders, and your back as much as you can. And come up to the throat area, the chest, the belly, the arms, hands, fingers, legs and feet and toes, and bring the mind to the breath. Just notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, slightly warmer air as you are breathing out. And we think of a motivation for this evening. So we remember that there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So we take courage from that. We're completely grateful that we're still alive. We lived long enough today to be able to even do this practice, to do this purification. So rejoice for that. And then we just think we're going to do this purification practice for all the people in our life, the ones we love, the ones we don't love, the ones who are pretty much strangers to us. Because they're all the same in their wish to be happy and not find it. They wish to escape from suffering and constantly encountering it. And we are all the same in that we have this incredible potential for enlightenment. So we do this practice for all the people in our life, for all sentient beings, and for ourselves, so we can be a benefit to others. So the purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity all the time with our mind. So tonight we're going to try and create some positivity with the mind to counteract the negativity. So this practice is done in the context of the 4 opponent powers. And the first of these is the power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being today, in this life, and in all past lives. And we think of specific actions of both the body and the speech. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves are going to necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of future suffering because we understand already from the suffering we're experiencing now that we don't really want more of it. So the logic, therefore, is to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen into suffering. And think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech. And if you have vows, if we've broken our vows or degenerated our vows, we just regret. We think, I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we just regret the anger and the attachment and all the rest of the delusions, which are anyway the cause of why we harm others. And we just think we're sick of this suffering. So what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And there's two little sections here. And the first of these is refuge. So we rely upon the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking or needing Guru Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So visualize Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you imagine this is the mind of your guru appearing in this aspect, this form, this particular form, for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting in a cross-legged position. And he has this radiant, beautiful, youthful face, these lotus-like eyes. They're very peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and he's wearing these beautiful silken scarves and jewelry. And this is kind of blowing in the wind. And remember, this is a very dynamic, radiant, alive kind of visualization above the crown of our head. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, which represents wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, representing the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the indestructibility or the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So the next is under this little heading of compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and in this case, the very beings we have harmed, and then also those who have harmed us. So by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of the people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, any beings that perhaps you've harmed that you don't remember harming since beginningless time. And so also now remember those who have harmed you. And maybe we don't want to have compassion for them. It's not quite so easy. But just remember, they are going to suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So for this reason, we can try and generate compassion for them. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. And we just think I must purify for their sake. So the third is the power of the remedy. And this is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. And so the first of these is purification of the body. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends this powerful white nectar, quite strongly coming from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown, pouring into your entire body, filling you completely. And just imagine it keeps pouring into you, then forces out of your lower orifices all the negativities of your body. So just imagine it just keeps coming and it pours out of you, and it leaves your body as this kind of thick, black, yucky smoke, and the smoke disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mudza Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified. And think that there's no way you could do anything but be of benefit to others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech. And just think again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sending powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and quite strongly enters your crown, filling your entire body, but this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativities of your speech. And this kind of negativities just overflow and disappear into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, is all purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapadina Patita Lida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible that you could do anything but be benefit to others with your speech. So imagine the moment they hear your voice, the sweet sounds of your voice, it's a benefit to their mind. How incredible that would be. The next is a purification of the mind. And imagine Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sending powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra. And these arc around, entering your crown chakra, filling your entire being. And just as Lama Yeshe says, the minute you walk into a room and switch on a light, that light dispels the darkness in the room. So just in the same way, the moment the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, neediness, the anger, depression, grasping, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all these things that make us so incredibly uncomfortable, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebe Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Musa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Musa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Musa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of your own suffering and why, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally gone, completely finished. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and compassion. So the next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time you can imagine Guru Vajrasattva sends light and nectar from his heart. You can also visualize the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech, and mind if you wish. It's kind of busy. Or you can just visualize light. So whatever works for your mind, but just imagine that it comes from Guru Vajrasattva's heart. The light and the nectar fills you completely, and it's eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama sutame, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame musa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa sapakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mebe yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mebe yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dira mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So just think even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the four opponent powers is the power of resolve. And this is a really crucial step in the process. This is a determination to not harm with our body, our speech, and our mind again. And without this determination, we're going to continue to keep doing the same old habits, follow the same old patterns. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm again is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So just as Lama Zopa Rinpoche says, everything exists on the tip of the wish, the aspiration. So just think of something that you might like to work on this evening. Maybe it's something to do with your speech. Maybe you just bite your nails. Maybe you have this habit to keep checking your phone or keep checking the weather or keep checking the air quality. That's my favorite one lately, the air quality. But it's kind of starts to get a bit obsessive. So think of something, maybe you're constantly checking Facebook or something, or maybe, and think very carefully whether these things are actually serving you in any way that's beneficial. Or is it just kind of increasing your attachment, grasping? And maybe you're doing things that increase your anger. Like if somebody's annoyed you and you go off and talk about it to somebody else, it just makes it bigger in your mind sometimes. It's one thing to get it off your chest. The other thing is to keep going on about it. So just think where the line is there. Or maybe you have a habit to just kind of kill things. I'm sure that most people here aren't doing that, but perhaps we accidentally not careful and wash the ants down the sink. So maybe we think we'll try and be a little bit more careful. The little tiny creatures we can't see very well. So this determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. So we're just trying to refrain from things that are harmful. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light, absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind, the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So Lama Rinpoche recommends now to meditate on the emptiness with 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place the mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They're not existing from their own side. Or you could think of things as being dependent arisings. Perhaps you can think of the way we perceive things depends very much on the way our body is constructed, how tall we are, maybe where we grew up, what our education has been. And just as human beings, the way our body works, the way our eyes are, the way they interact with the brain and with the external environment, all informs us, and we experience the environment according to the body that we're in. So, dogs and cats experience the environment kind of differently to us. They see things differently. They have different senses. Some have more acute auditory, not auditory, sorry. Some have more acute olfactory senses, for example. So just think it breaks down our concrete view of the world. So let's dedicate today all the merit, all the positive energy you have created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we recite this prayer. For his long life, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honoring the 3 jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we go.